Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 23, and today we are going to be using the Moto E machines. Now the Moto E bikes are something, to be honest, I completely forgot about until last night after the live stream. I decided to jump on with the aces and we played one race here in Silverstone with the Moto E bikes, and I've got to confess, they felt terrific. They felt absolutely magnificent, so I decided, you know what, jump into time trial, just have a bit of fun, and see what we can do here in Moto E. Now, trying to keep in line with modern day Moto E, I want to try and reduce the electronics, so it's the very sensitive nature, you know, the fact that the bikes can high side at any point, so I've reduced the traction control down to 1, anti-wheelie 3, engine brake 4, with power steering 3, obviously because we need the ultimate power to have a good lap time here in Silverstone, and I've got to say, it felt magnificent. I really love the sensation of these bikes. The gentle nature with acceleration and that feeling of just throttling too much at any point could launch you into oblivion just felt fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the guys on this one. Unfortunately, we only did the one race and I didn't record it, which I probably should have done, but to be honest, it was just an absolute crash fest. Myself and Meerkat, and we had a good battle towards the end of the race. He did let me catch up a few times, of course he did, but it was ultimately an excellent battle amongst the pair of us, and honestly, I've got a lot of praise for the Moto E bikes, and I'm beginning to think that maybe I should have put some more practice in when they did the esports for this, but to be honest, I think the esports guys are another level when it comes to anything in MotoGP 23. But anyway, here we are on this lap time. We've got a 2:09.8 already done. Did a very quick lap time a moment ago and then realised I didn't hit the record button, so yeah, that was a mistake for me, so ignore the first lap, but we'll do this lap. Classes was on the first one, and it's already going to be an improvement. I managed a 2:09.8 in the race yesterday with Meerkat. He did a 2:08.9 in our fastest lap at the end of the race, so this is a chance for us now to do better than that and get ourselves on the leaderboards. Now, I am going to do this in a different way because Moto E is still very much new to me. I did the practice video a while ago. I did the update video with Moto E, and I think that was the last we've seen of the electric motorcycle. So I'm going to do 2 laps of each tyres until we determine which is the best tyre, and then together we will go for the absolute beast of a lap time. To be honest with you, I'm saying 2 as we set the new fastest lap there, a 2:09.007. James Bond here in Silverstone seems quite fitting, doesn't it? But yeah, 2 laps of each tyre, because I think medium front is going to be the absolute key. I don't think we'll choose a soft front. It might be better, but to be honest, I did practice it in the race last night, and yeah, medium front was the absolute key. The soft just gets too hot throughout the duration of the track. Now, I didn't try medium rear and I didn't try the hard rear, but the last time I attempted Moto E, I noticed it was generally one tyre works and the rest don't, and I think that's going to be the theme of today's video, but we'll find out. We'll do it together and we'll see how it goes. So as it stands, we're just 0.2 of a second down to our previous lap time, but as you can see, the soft rear is already getting rather warm. Traction control on 1 is really pushing the rear tyre, but this is how it is in Moto E. The riders are sliding the rears. You can hear them screech when they go on their brakes, and to be honest, I think I'm going to make a public service announcement sort of thing to tell you Moto E is great. I'm probably going to get a lot of sort of, it's not. But trust me, honestly, the racing last season, the year before, Domi Eggerter versus Jordi Torres was absolutely terrific. There's been some excellent races in Moto E, and they're only generally around 11 laps long. So it's basically a sprint of electric motorcycles. I get it, the sound is not as satisfying as actual MotoGP machines, but to be honest, I think that's just a small downplay of Moto E, just to say that they sound terrible, they sound like vacuum cleaners, they sound like kettles, whatever, you know, I've heard it before, but they are actually really good, and I think we do a discredit to them by not watching them. I honestly implore you to check out Moto E in 2024. The new Ducatis are terrific, they're extremely fast, and they are much better than the Energico Ego machines. I think they were good, but it's just added to the excitement to go for the Ducati. But anyway, we've crossed the line, so that will conclude lap number 2. Let's move on to the medium rear. So this time it's medium front and medium rear, still sticking with the same electronics. I don't want to change anything, and I've got the feeling now with TCS1. But something I didn't really mention in those first couple of laps is how gentle you have to be when running Traction Control 1 and running these Moto E bikes. Just take a look around these next couple of corners. Bottom right corner of your screen, your bottom two, you've got the 2 brakes. But on the right hand side, the one that goes green, that is your acceleration. And you can see in some of these corners, it's so gentle. I'm still feathering the throttle very much like I do with the MotoGP machines. Just really careful as the back end just kicked out ever so slightly there. Just ever so slightly pressing too hard on the acceleration. But I've got to say, the medium rear feels pretty good. If this was a race condition, I'd have to consider that medium rear tyre option. Now, when I spoke to Jackhammer about doing our video last time, we discussed tyres, and the general consensus was that the medium rear is, and the medium front to be honest, it's a tyre that actually heats up quicker than the soft, and sometimes doesn't have the longevity as the soft, which is a very strange bug or oversight on Milestone's behalf, because you would imagine the medium should be lasting longer than the soft and should be able to retain its temperature better than the soft tyre. But I can tell you already, I don't feel like I've fallen off a cliff here, but I'm actually struggling to get anywhere near on par with the soft rear right now, but with that medium. I'm losing 7/10 of a second already. I'm getting a lot more wheel spin. Could be a simple case of me pushing too hard now because there's a harder compound of tyre. But I'm losing a bit of time here, down to 7/10 as we go into Chapel. Yeah, it's 7/10 lost on this lap, and that medium rear, how is it much worse than the soft? It is absolutely in fuego. I'll be surprised if I can get another lap out of that medium rear. That's unbelievable. Look at it's really sliding now as we get onto the power. That's bonkers. I can't believe that. Now onto the final corner. This is another point now where the tyre gets really warm on that right hand side. It is, wow, it's red hot, isn't it? Across the line, that's going to be a 2:10. That's a shocking lap time. The medium rear, that's not the tyre for me. I don't think that's the tyre for anyone, to be quite honest with you. That is not going to work out. Although, by a 10th in the first split, onto the brakes, sliding the rear tyre of the Ducati V21L. Ooh, look at the rear tyre lighting up here into the loop. Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? The medium rear is on fire. That's just not going to happen. I can't believe how hot that medium rear's gone. Now, can we actually improve the lap time with the tyre that red? I'm not sure it's possible, but you better believe I'll certainly give it a try. Again, slipping and sliding there. We're going to Luffield now. Look, yeah, the rear tyre, look at it. I'm struggling to even make the corners now. I can't believe how hot that's gone. Yeah, the medium rear is definitely not the tyre. I am curious to think, though, that the hard rear could be the tyre choice. The game actually recommended the soft rear, which was clearly the right decision for the first 2 laps, but now you'd think going for that harder compound would be better, but clearly it's not. We're losing well over a second now. That is massive. I absolutely love the way the Moto E bikes handle Silverstone Circuit. I think it's Charlie said this yesterday, that it was brilliant around Maggots and Beckett's, and he's absolutely right. The bike just nails those corners. It feels incredibly satisfying with these Moto E machines. I can't believe I've never really given them much of a chance beforehand. And of course, guys, whilst I've got a chance, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I do appreciate all the assistance, but it would be remiss of me to not tell you about subscribing to the channel. I upload videos every single day. Even had a surprise live stream last night as well, so double upload yesterday. So yeah, but this lap time's certainly nothing to get excited about. So you know what? Let's get this one over and done with, and then jump on to the hard option rear tyre across the line. Oh, just touching the apex there. This is going to be a bad lap time. Oh, a 2:10.7. Shocking, shocking. So we're now on to our third tyre choice. I'm still, as mentioned earlier, staying with the medium rear, but now it's time to change over to the hard rear as we get a little bit of a slide going into Vale there. Not a good start with the hard option rear, but between you and I and the bench post, I feel really good about the hard rear. I've got this feeling that this will be the tyre to be on for this qualifying session. I know, for example, that the soft option is clearly the better tyre in a lot of situations, but I don't know, the hard rear with the spinning up the rear will make it eager on the power. I think it's just going to go well as we slide into the rear there into Village. Absolutely magnificent. Really liking the look of that one, and that was key for a good entrance. But to be honest, I've just lost a dramatic amount of time there. I lost 4/10 just by getting onto the power there of the loop. Oh my god! How is it this bad? I didn't feel significantly slower there. I mean, I felt a little bit slower getting onto the power, but... wow, okay. Gut feeling is completely ruined here. 0.6 of a second already lost. I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. The rear tyre is not even hot. Am I still losing time on the power now? We are. We're losing a significant time. Even just getting onto the power, leaning the motorcycle over, we're losing a good chunk of time. Sure, I hope I haven't just lost it, because I felt really good to start the session off. I did a 2:09.8 before I started recording, a 2:09.007, 2:09.4, and then immediately we just suck. We're straight into the 2:10s again. And this lap time, I don't think it's going to be much cop either. So into Beckett's and then out of the left-hander, then go into Chapel. This is indeed the Wellington straight. Finally decided to look up and get the straights correct. 0.8 of a second we're losing. I might get a little bit more brazen now, getting onto the brakes here into the right-hander. Did notice last night you can go quite firm on the brakes with these machines. They don't seem to just drop the front. They're quite reliable. But underneath the craft beer sign, 0.8 of a second is what we're losing. So it's better than the medium. And clearly the temperature looks absolutely fine. But I tell you what, I think this tyre is an absolute waste of time. Honestly, I think we're better off just moving on to the softs. I don't think any of these tyres are decent, are they? Well, that's the first lap anyway. It's back into the 2:09s, but... and that would be roughly where we set our first lap time with the soft. So, maybe we shouldn't just abandon it already. We'll keep on pushing, and we'll see what we can do. But I'm thinking soft tyre is definitely the key as we go really tight to the apex there for Village. Now onto the brakes for the left-hander of the loop. Go really tight to the apex there and I drop the front. Oh well. Well, that didn't go quite as planned, but to be honest, I'm just really curious now because I feel two things. I feel like the tyres are just absolutely dreadful if they're not the soft rear. But I also feel that maybe my skill is just gone. Maybe I'm overthinking it, so I'm getting back onto the softs because I want to debunk my theory about me just losing the plot here. So, back onto the soft rear tyre. Feels pretty solid going into turn 1. We're already up by 2.5 but that is a bit misleading because we went deep into Abbey. And now into Farm. Yeah, it's roughly about the same. Let's see what we can do. Like tapping that rear tyre. The Alpine Star's boot slamming on the rear brake there. But this time into the left-hander for the loop. And onto the power. Not losing as much time. No, we seem to be back into it then. Careful not to go too deep onto that corner. You know what? Yeah, this feels much better. I can't believe that. It's like the medium rear and the hard rear are just absolutely useless. There's just no point in using them at all if it's going to be a qualifying session. This effort to get onto the leaderboard should be pretty good. I did take a look at the leaderboards and, to be honest, it's good enough for a good spot on the leaderboards. I won't spoil it yet, but I can tell you that is enough to get me a good spot. But 97,000 of a second down. We can still improve on this one yet. And that's a great example. We did really well there to the tight apex of Cops. As we go into Maggots and Beckett's and all the fun stuff here in Silverstone, I think I can gain a bit more time. Get on the curb there, keep it in tight. This Ducati handles beautifully. And you know what? I'm really leaning towards an extra season of MotoGP 23. I mean, we can't do it in career mode, but we'll do a championship mode and we'll chuck in the Moto E's. I've done it in every MotoGP game so far before the next installment of the game comes out. And I would really love to do a championship with these motorcycles. You can do it alongside the career mode as well, so it's not like we have to forfeit the career mode for anything. Because the next season of career mode is certainly upon us. We've got Valencia still to record. And then we'll be starting our new journey in MotoGP 23 in our third season of the Premier Class. But already, the first lap back on the soft rear tyre is going to be enough for me to get across the line to take the first 2:08 lap time in MotoGP 23. Oh, I'm pleased. That is magnificent. These bikes feel fantastic. I cannot stress how good they feel. I'm having a whale of a time with this. I was beginning to wonder what would be my next sort of adventure here in MotoGP 23. I think I found it. A lot of the aces discussing about a Moto 3 or Moto 2 cut, which I would most certainly love to be part of, as we just slid the rear tyre there. The soft rear is now on fire, but I'm hoping we can cool it down a bit before we start pushing again. But to be honest, why not just keep going? Let's just see where we can go with the soft rear just in fuego. And already we're actually not losing that much time. I did make a big blunder there, which invalidated. You can see in the cross in the top right-hand corner of your screen. But yeah, the guy's calling for a Moto 3, a Moto 2 championship. I absolutely adore the Moto 3 bikes. That's one of the best things about every MotoGP game, is jumping onto those Moto 3 machines, getting in the mix with the youngsters and just going gung-ho every single race for a valiant effort. I love Moto 3. I love watching it. I love Moto 2. Yeah, I can't wait for those. We'll see what happens in the future, but I need to question what I'm going to be doing with the Ace Academy Cups from now on, because we did the race director mode yesterday for Division 2, and I loved it. It was terrific. I really had a great time with it, so I'm thinking maybe I should do race director for more often, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling as we go by. But for now, we're down by 0.6 of a second, so they might need to head back into the pits to get a fresh tyre. We'll see. What I'll do is I'll do a couple of laps now, and then right at the end I'll do 1 or 2 more laps again, and then we'll just push with a nice fresh soft rear. But I don't want to keep restarting the laps because I hate doing that. I find it really knocks my momentum to keep on changing, and probably it's part of a factor of why we've not done so well today with the 2 lap times with the medium rear and then the hard rear. Well, that lost us 0.9 of a second. Of course, we did have that mistake anyway, so I'm not too concerned about that lap time too much. But into the left side of farm, 0.1 of a second in the bag, into the first corners, now into turn 3, now into turn 4. We're still up here, and that rear tyre has yet to cool down. Oh, this is going to be a decent lap time. 0.2 of a second found into Aintree. Now onto the Wellington Straight. Excuse me, this is the Hanger Straight, isn't it? I'm still getting it wrong. Oh my goodness. I just looked at it before earlier, now I'm questioning everything. Oh, 0.3 of a second found going into Brooklyn to Luffield. Take that. I'm absolutely loving that. Now onto the power. And get across to the right hand side. Oh, look at that rear tyre slide. Oh my god. On the limit here in Silverstone. Vying for a top spot leaderboard position here in time trial. There's a spoiler, ladies and gentlemen. I know we can fight for it. I've seen what the lap times are already, and we're absolutely going for it. This is going to be a cracker. And to be honest, the soft rear is still hot, but it's in still a better condition than the medium rear was. Ooh, losing a bit of time there into Beckett's. This one here is the Hanger Straight. So for us now to absolutely punch it, can we improve the lap time? We've got to, surely. Surely it's coming now. Into the right-hander then. Onto the power. Brake right where that craft beer sign is. Give it everything on the brakes. Full front brake, full rear brake. Tucking it into Vale. Bit deep. Is that going to cost us? It has cost us about 0.2 of a second. Oh, we lost all of our momentum. Ah, no. Across the line. A 2:08. 8.69. So, again, into the 2:08s. But, yeah. Bit of a mistake on my behalf as we go tight to the apex of Abbey. Now into left-hander again for Farm. Still not looking too bad with that rear tyre still hot as well. It's getting slippy, though. It's getting really slippery. Like the old Bon Jovi album, Slippery When Wet. This is just slippery when hot. Tight to the apex for the loop. Now onto the... Oh, I felt the rear tyre go again then. These feel great. It's like being on a ticking time bomb with TCS1. It will go off at some point, it's just when. And when they go, you can't stop them. You have to be so... Oh, I've just lost the front. The rear came round, I lost the front. Well, I'll be damned if I'm ending this video on a crash. I'm going to give it one more lap. I did the 209.8 earlier on at the beginning. This would be my 10th lap. I know it'll be the 9th lap in this video, but I have already done the other lap, which I didn't record. So out of the final corner then, this is the final lap time of today's video. Let's see what we can produce. Deep into Abbey, that's not going to help us. Not losing time though, the Delta's still green. Now we have that fresh soft rear tyre on, which is made by renewable energy sources. They always make comments about this in the commentary booth, that the fact it's going to smell of old orange peels and everything else, because apparently that's what it's made up of, a lot of renewable recyclable materials. But out to the left hand side, this is a 2.5 improvement when the Delta is concerned. Onto the brakes for Brooklands. I don't want to make the same mistake we did last time, so bit eager on the rear brake last time to force the rear to come round. This time we didn't do it, and this time we're looking at a ½ second improvement. You know what? Maybe not today's video, but maybe we could possibly get into the 207s. I feel really solid with this motorcycle right now. I feel really, really good. I don't believe the Moto E eSports rode at this track. I don't remember, but I don't believe they did. So I'm going to mention that for the leaderboards, because I think we'll be doing a pretty good job on the leaderboards, to be quite honest with you. But ½ second it is. Now onto the right-hander again. We're losing a bit of time there. We weren't quite as clean and crystal going into Maggots and Beckett's, but out to Chapel and then onto the hanger straight, just kissing the outside curb there. Went a little bit too tight there, and it would have cost us by going onto the green. But onto the brakes. Keep it pinned onto the right-hand side. Look how much brake you can use on the right-hand side. Beautiful. And with that rear grip, I'm able to fire it out. And now get onto the brakes. Surely we don't go too wide this time around. Trying to be really gentle and patient upon the brakes. It's absolutely perfect. Nailed it going into curve 17. Now into the final couple of corners, or at least final corner. This should be it. Across the line, it is a 2:08.401. So those are my lap times on screen. I've got to say, the 207 is not an unrealistic target. We're definitely going to have to look into that for the future. But for now, my only lap that I didn't, that invalidated, of course, is that the lap from earlier on. But for the rest, the soft tyres, soft rear, absolutely terrific. Works a absolute treat. But guys, there is my lap times on screen. Don't forget, if you want to compare yours to mine, you can use this screen for reference. And if you want to send me the clips or your version of this time trial, let me know in the comment section, or alternatively in Discord or Instagram. But finally guys, before we go, there is a brilliant sight which is screenshot worthy, ladies and gentlemen. I am on the top of the pile for the Monster Energy British Grand Prix time trial here with the Moto E machines. However, I did notice I used enabled balance performance. I don't know whether that makes a big difference, but for the time being, I'll take the top spot. I know how this goes. I make a video, you guys come and beat me anyway. So guys, thanks for watching. Leave me with my temporary world record for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.